One of the biggest sporting events in the world is the World Cup. And even though most countries are not involved in it, it's a huge deal all around the world. So who runs this World Cup? By International Federation of Association Football, or FIFA. Running a sport this popular all around the world makes FIFA a whole lot of money. And usually in a place where there is a lot of money, there is a lot of corruption with it. It's December 2nd, 2010, and FIFA has a meeting to choose the 2018 and 2022 FIFA World Cup location. In this meeting, you would see a lot of important people. Like the ones we know about is Bill Clinton, Prince William, the grandchild of Elizabeth, and many more. Even though there's all these important people in this meeting, but the final decision is up to the 22 people that are sitting up front right here. Before any of this took place, a lot of officials would complain to FIFA that they have too much power at what they do. When Sepp Blatter, president of FIFA, opened the first letter for 2018, this is what came up.
Ladies and gentlemen, will be organized in Russia.
And let's see what happens in 2022.
Top is Qatar.
After these two names were announced, everybody called corruption, and FIFA got money under the table. In the beginning of the 19th century, football was the #1 sport in Europe and South America, and these two continents have been playing with each other since 1904. And in the same year, to organize the events that was taking place, they created FIFA in France. They looked at the Olympics and realized that's a really special event and it makes a lot of money, and they said to themselves, football can have its own Olympics. And in the year 1930, the first World Cup happened. The first question that popped up, who should be the first country to run this World Cup? 6 countries told FIFA to choose us for the event: Sweden, Netherlands, Hungary, Italy, Spain, and Uruguay. At that time, FIFA had 44 members, and each of them had 1 vote. And the 44 people had to vote which country they would like the World Cup to take place in. Right now we have realized that to choose Uruguay for the first World Cup, there was money and bribery involved, and the 44 members had nothing to do with choosing the location, because in the end, FIFA was gonna choose the location, not the people. And like we said, Uruguay was chosen for the first World Cup, and they won the first World Cup. Now that we have some leaked info, we realize that in the year 1928, FIFA made a deal with Uruguay. The deal was to pay for all the expenses of the players and the workers, like hotel and food, and 30% of the advertisement money belongs to FIFA. By the looks of it, Uruguay is not making anything, and FIFA is taking all the profit. In 1934, fascist Mussolini told FIFA that we should hold the next World Cup in Italy. And obviously, FIFA told him what the deal is. If you got money, we could make it happen. And that is why the 1934 FIFA World Cup was in Italy. I won't extend this any longer, but throughout FIFA's history, anyone that wanted to run the World Cup, they would have to pay to be involved. The info we're telling you is not made up, and these infos had been leaked throughout history, but after Sepp Blatter, we haven't seen any sketchy thing. Until the 1970s, the World Cup was a normal thing, and it was mostly covered on radio. But when the television came along, and it was easy for each household to get one, that's when football really blew up, and that was all because of the TV. And just because of that, FIFA gained an insane amount of popularity, and that made the cost of the World Cup to go up. any country that wanted this prestigious award to run the World Cup, they would have to pay. And on top of that, all the advertisement that's run on TV, a lot of it goes to FIFA. From the 70s, FIFA went from 44 countries to 170 countries. Day by day, FIFA gets stronger until we get to 1986. At that time, the money FIFA is bringing in multiplies by tens. And you know why that is? Because that's when the sponsor deals kicked in for FIFA. A lot of money is flowing into FIFA, but there's only 24 members that have a hold of all this cash. And all the important decisions, like where the next World Cup is gonna take place, is up to these guys. It is true that there's a lot of members in FIFA, but it's only up to those 24. These people are called the Exco, and the decision is up to them only. When 13 out of a 24 bid on a place, it's good to go. And that means the most important sporting event in the history of the world is up to 24 corrupt businessmen. FIFA started in France, but they soon moved to Switzerland. But why is that? Because of the Swiss bank. Banks that allow money laundering with ease. And FIFA really needed a place like this. But the insane corruption starts at the year 2000. And that's when Germany is being chosen for the 2006 World Cup. And that's when Der Spiegel, a German news media, writes that 4 people of the Exco of FIFA have gotten paid under the table by Germany. And this is one of the first times that a main news source had said something like this and said FIFA is corrupt. And the funny part is, Der Spiegel is German as well. The South African World Cup has the same story and it gets leaked. The story of the South African World Cup is that people got millions of dollars in bribes to host it there. For the 2018 FIFA World Cup in Russia, the oligarchs were the people that paid FIFA. And with that, they wanted to create a better image for Russia. By the looks of it, they've opened up an insane business. Anybody that shows them the cash, they'll show the product. The Russian government promised FIFA that they will spend $10 billion to create a better World Cup experience. And at that time, it was the most amount of money spent to run a World Cup. And that's why FIFA's mouth starts watering and they accept the deal. Let's move to Qatar. Since it was also a rich country, they wanted the World Cup too, but they would deny that offer. First of all, your team has never gone to the World Cup. Second of all, your country is way too small. Third of all, it's pretty damn hot, and you guys only have one stadium. But as you know, Qatar has an unlimited amount of money. A small country with low population and loads of oil and gas money. Qatar says, if Russia promised to spend $10 billion on the World Cup to make it better, but I'll do you guys one better. I'll spend $200 billion on the next World Cup, and I'll build 12 new stadiums. This $200 billion is separate from the money they paid under the table, because we don't know that amount. One of the Exco members of FIFA, named Jack Warner, came out and said Qatar paid him $2 million for the bid. He might have gotten more, but we'll never know. Some people say that it's better for FIFA to work with third world dictator countries because the chances of them being leaked is very low. But it seems like the opposite happened. Because of the Russian and Qatar World Cup, FIFA's image has looked a lot worse, and it made a whole lot of people suspicious. And this alone caused a bunch of detectives online to look into what FIFA has been doing. And by detectives, I mean normal people online. It's good to know that for the 2018 World Cup, the US wanted to host it, but they didn't give it to them because there was no money in it, and they decided to give it to Russia. It seems like after the US was denied and they chose Russia and Qatar after that, that made America pretty angry, and that's probably why the FBI went after them. They were suspicious that some special deals were taking place behind their back, but it is true, it was corrupt because a few people got arrested. Even though FBI got involved and all news media outlets talk smack about FIFA, but nothing special happened to them. They arrested a few people, but Sepp Blatter, the president at the time, retired and nothing happened to him. And if you look up his net worth on Google, it says he has about $40 million. But this amount doesn't have the bribes he got. Maybe the 2026 World Cup that was given to the US, Canada, and Mexico, it might be because of what the FBI did, but we'll never know.